What operation could possibly have a washed up, disillusioned, tired old spy running around all the way to Berlin? That's the question that's posed by this film, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. Watch the film and this review of it to find out exactly why Alec Leamas, this old spy, is so important. The Spy Who Came In From the Cold was released 60 years ago in 1965 and is a Cold War espionage thriller directed by Martin Rett. It's based on a 1963 novel by John Le Carre. It's a tense, murky, and morally complex story set during the height of the Cold War, where spies navigate deceit, betrayal, and shifting loyalties. The plot involves both Western intelligence services and Eastern ones, playing against each other, all around the central character of Alec Leamas, an old and slightly disillusioned British intelligence officer working for MI6. Like many of Le Carre's characters, this murkiness of loyalty and faith goes beyond his work in espionage. It seems to dominate his life, as we see in the film. The story begins with him, Alec Leamas, played by Richard Burton, a disillusioned and tired MI6 spy working on a covert operation in Berlin. He's tasked with tracking down a high-ranking East German intelligence officer, Munt, who's been responsible for the death of several British agents. When his agent, supposed to be revealing Munt, is killed during an attempt to cross the wall to West Berlin, Leamas is recalled to London, but not before the tragic death of his informant is shown in the opening scene of the film. Alec Leamas, played by Richard Burton, a disillusioned and tired MI6 spy, working on a covert operation in Berlin. He's tasked with tracking down a high-ranking East German intelligence official, Munt, who's been responsible for the death of several British agents. However, Leamas' agent, meant to help locate Munt, is killed as he attempts to cycle across the border to West Berlin. Following this, Leamas is recalled to London. In London, Leamas appears disillusioned and deeply frustrated by the bureaucracy of the British intelligence services. He is then offered a chance by C, or Control, to undermine the East German government in the GDR by playing a double game. The plan, laid out by Control in his office, is for Leamas to defect to the East, where he'll act as a traitor in order to deceive the East German intelligence service, the Stasi, into believing that he's a valuable asset. The British want to use this to manipulate Munt, who they suspect of being a double agent. However, things quickly spiral out of control as Leamas' own beliefs, emotions, and allegiances are tested. He falls into alcoholism, and after falling in love with a woman from the library where he works following his exile from the service, planned and deliberate, he seems to be at rock bottom. Even with his love with that woman, Nan Perry, who will become important later, things are really bad for him. After time spent in prison after assaulting a shopkeeper, an approach is made on an innocuous park bench by a kindly man named Ash. After agreeing to meet Ash for lunch, he eventually agrees again to work for Ash's mysterious charity for the money. Travelling to Europe for the much needed cash, he meets Fiedler, Ash's boss, and a member of the Stasi, and a senior one at that. Plying him for information, Fiedler transports Leamas to Berlin and then to East Germany for further questioning. There, Leamas keeps up the game of revealing some information, just enough to keep Fiedler interested. After walks around the surrounding hills of the compound where he's held, and further days of conversation, some revelations, and spy games, shock arrives at the story, with Munt arriving. He imprisons both Leamas and Fiedler, accusing Fiedler of being played by Leamas, which we know he is. For Leamas in the audience, the gig is up, especially when Leamas' escape plan from this compound fails. His fate seems fully sealed when Nan Perry, the woman he fell in love with, is lured by a fake trip arranged by the Communist Party and arrives at court to testify that Leamas has debts, especially to that shopkeeper he assaulted, that have been paid by a mysterious Englishman, one George Smiley. The realization striking Leamas perhaps before the audience, certainly me first watching, comes as Fiedler is sentenced to death in the courtroom. Escape is arranged for Leamas and Perry because they've succeeded, Control's original mission objective, that of protecting Munt, has been accomplished. They've used Lemus as an unwitting tool to implicate a real Stasi officer, Fiedler, in order to protect their secret asset, who was Munt all along. And thus a man loyal to his country like Lemus, with whom Lemus had enjoyed good conversations in the film, is sentenced to death to protect Munt, an ex-Nazi who's a British asset. Sick of the game, Lemus nonetheless seeks to escape with Nan Perry, but at a crucial moment climbing the Berlin Wall, she falters and is shot. In a beautiful moment that encapsulates his attitude, Lemus climbs down to help her, only to be shot himself. And so the game is over, and the film too. Two lovers and a man innocent of his crimes are dead. The traitor lives on, and Control is happy. First there is a central character, Alec Lemus, played by Richard Burton, and Munt's loyalties. Then there is Munt, played by Peter Van Eyck. He's a high-ranking East German intelligence officer, who we at first see as the ultimate adversary, introduced through whispered references that build up his reputation as a fearsome opponent. The central intrigue of the film revolves around Munt, at first as a threat and then as an ally for Britain, when it's finally revealed that he's secretly working for the West. As the plot unfolds, it becomes unclear where his true loyalty lies, for Lemus and the characters, and the audience, given the twist doesn't come until later in the film, and he plays a key role in manipulating Lemus's fate. That uncertainty means even a watcher familiar with the twist of espionage, and even Le Carre, may not see this coming, making his performance, the character and Van Eyck as an actor, a key reason why this film is just so captivating 60 years on. Around the themes of the film, it poses in particular hard